we go. I think we're live.
You are.
We are live. I tell everybody I always do the blooper reel first. Hello and welcome to Forever After That with Teri Angel tonight. We're going to see where this wants to go tonight. I have a feeling
Yeah.
we're having these technical issues and it feels as if Spirit is already amongst us. So let's see what happens. I'm kind of excited. Teri, please tell people about yourself a little bit.
Hi, everybody. My name is Teri Angel. That's not my real name, but that's my name. That's the name I resonate with. And I am a life coach. I'm an energy healer, an angel channeler, jack of all trades. You name it, I've probably done it and more. And am I'm here during this time on purpose, and I know that. I follow Dolores Cannon, if any of you are familiar with her, and she calls us the volunteers. We signed up for this. So I'm here at this point in history, and it is history in the making right now, but I'm here to just help bring in the light and hold that light and hold space for all of us that are finding our way home. That's what I call finding that center, finding what's inside of you. So whatever I can do, if I'm online 5 times a day, if I'm writing, if I'm teaching, that's what I do. And that's what I'm here for. And that's what I am.
Mm-hmm. Just
So
being
just happy to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're so directed by spirit these days. We thought that we knew why we
Yeah.
were here. We thought that we knew what life is all about, and then we realized that we're not in a bad way. We're so much more than we thought that
Yeah.
we were. So now we're like waking
Yeah.
up. A minute, hold on. What am I really all
Yeah.
about? And it's the
Mm-hmm.
most beautiful time in the world to me. It's like I'm just so thankful right now to be able to be one of the volunteers and to be here because I feel like it's
I
just
know.
miraculous. Every day I come in and I'm like, what's going to happen today? So I'm,
I know. It's like Christmas, isn't it? It's like every day I'm
it's like
like, oh
Christmas.
boy, yeah, what you got for
What do
me
I get to
today,
do
God?
today? Who do I get to meet? What do I get to do? Let's just go out there and find out. And even the little things. That's what I think
Mm-hmm.
is so miraculous about it now is those little things that we used to just overlook. We
Yeah.
didn't even, really even pay attention to them. And now it's like,
Yeah.
this whole awakening is, I thought that I was awake a few years ago. And now I'm
Yeah.
so much more awake than I ever was before. I'm like seeing things so much. I'm
Yeah.
like a little child. Anybody that's walking with me, they're like, there's something wrong with that one because I cannot
Right?
focus. I'm always like, oh, look at
Yeah.
that, look at that, look at that, because
Oh,
everything
you
is.
oh you scroll a lot.
I do. Did I?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I
Oh, you
call
say
it. I
squirrel a lot. Is that what you said?
squirrel. Yeah, I'm like
Squirrel.
I squirrel. I squirrel. I'm like, oh look, squirrel. Oh look, wait, there's this butterfly.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And it's like the more that we notice, that's what's so cool about it is the more that we notice all of these cool little things that we used to just pass by,
Yeah.
the more it's like Mother Nature, Mother Gaia, whatever name you want to use, the more we're blessed. So it's like
Yeah.
there's these things show up in the sky, these it can't possibly be fake, like it's not my
Right?
imagination that's a heart shape right there, right in front of me, or a
Yeah.
flying pig. I'm always saying flying pigs, but I really feel like what I used to say is they're the or they're love notes from the universe. That's what I read for Steve Tide.
Ooh,
I
I
would
like
see these
that.
things, and I'm like, there's another love note, and it's because I'm paying attention and I'm seeing these things now that I
Yeah.
never used to see. So, I think that that's the important thing about this show is it's really to me it feels like Steve's brainchild, but I
Yeah.
think really well. He keeps reminding me. He whispers in the other ear, "No, it's yours," and I'm like, "No, it's yours," but because I don't know where I really don't know where I cut off and where he starts anymore. I really
Yeah.
honestly don't know. And that's what's so beautiful
Yeah.
about this whole relationship, this ongoing relationship. So this show is all about him really. And it relates back to you, Teri, because in that loss of him, for anyone that doesn't know, Steve was my husband and passed away about September of 2016. I lost him to cancer after just a
Yeah.
6 week battle. And it was traumatic. It was horrible. I would never want to repeat it. And
Yeah.
yet I have grown so much from that loss. It's like he let me know right away, I'm stepping aside for you. And I'm like, what is that? Because no,
Yeah.
no,
I
you're
know.
not stepping aside
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
And
You're
so
not allowed.
So that's kind of why I brought you in here tonight too, because you were one of those blessings to me that came in, as I could say, an angel came in to me shortly after he passed. I think it was Linda Lemieux that
It
introduced
was.
us. And so,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you time to talk because I'm going to share for a little bit, and you can kind of.
Yeah, I couldn't find it, so I couldn't share it yet.
I couldn't find it either. I struggle with this technology stuff. It's there
Okay.
somewhere.
So if anybody is seeing us live, let us know where we are.
Test
And Diane, you had said before you even hit that button, I don't know where we're going to go. Like,
yeah, I thought
little
like
did you know.
Spirit was going to take us wherever it wanted to take us tonight, and it has obviously taken us somewhere. I know we're up there somewhere.
It took us somewhere. Who knows where we might be at this point? But I can't find it. So
I
hopefully
couldn't
we are.
find us the other day, and we were there. Somebody else found us and showed us where we were. So maybe somebody will come on and say, "Here you are."
Oh, Wendy found us. Leave it to Wendy. Wendy, honest to
Thank you,
God,
Wendy.
honey,
She
you are a
always comes to
miracle
save
worker.
us.
She does. She is a miracle worker. So
Wendy,
y'all,
would you
there
start sharing us out?
there we are. I see us
You find us?
now.
Oh, good.
Let me just share it on my timeline. Yes. So that's the story. That's the story of a lovely. Oh, that's a different show. um, that's the
I
story of
do
how.
have 3 boys and 3 girls, so I kind of fit that.
Oh, that's
Yes,
true.
I'm a Brady Bunch mom.
Yeah, yeah. So Linda Lemieux had introduced us right after Steve passed, and I remember that first interaction with you, and it was I could feel your heart. I could feel it. It was like I could even hear it beating, even though we were thousands of miles apart. And I just knew there was like some connection, something that I was supposed to be there. It was a divine thing that happened, that we were in each other's lives. And yeah, and so he would talk and I could hear him talk and I'm like, well, are you sure he's dead? Are you sure he passed?
He's very alive, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like has a huge voice, you know.
Big old
But
energy.
yeah, but that was such a magical time too because I saw you going through this huge time in your life and I saw people rallying for you. Linda just, oh, her heart was just holding you every day. And then as I got to know you, it was like, yes, let's enclose her in love. And I think Steve had a big, I don't think, I know, Steve had a big hand in bringing those people in that weren't there to pity you. They weren't there to say, oh, Diane, I'm so sorry. They were there to say, what can I do? How can I help? And so he made sure you were surrounded by that kind of energy of just really letting you see how loved you are.
He did the same thing to you also. I remember at some point you came to me with a song. I remember it, and I wish I could remember which song you had too, because he did that to a lot of people. You just did it recently, actually, on the Coffee and Conversation. At one point, you're like, I got this song in my head, and I should have figured it was him because he liked old rock. Was it Van Halen? It was something like that. And I'm like, no, it can't be mine because I don't listen to Van Halen. And I just kept leaving it out there on the table because I figured somebody was going to take that. And every day you kept coming back. I still got this song in my head. And I'm like, great. That's what he does to people. And that song will not come out of your head until you give it away. So finally I'm like, all right, let me listen to the song. Maybe it's him again. Let me just listen. So I listened and I was like, yep, there's definitely a message there for me. And I let you know. And it's funny. You're like, okay, the song's gone. So
yeah, exactly. That's how it happens. And I had one, oh, was it yesterday? I'm trying to remember now. It was either yesterday or day before. And that one hasn't gone out of my head. So that might be Steve also.
What song is that?
Another Brick in the Wall.
Another Brick in the Wall.
Yeah.
Oh, that I just got the that heart like boom, and I'm like, all right, Steve, I'll go listen to the song. Let me see what it has to say. He is very busy today. He just had a good talk with me in the car. I was driving back and he's like, all right, sister, you're sitting still, you're quiet. I got to talk to you. And so he was making some things. He has been very active in this past week trying to make me understand that what happens is when we're in our small selves, we think that we are just like, I'm just this, like, no, that can't be true because that's you, because I get the idea that he's on the other side. He's got all, and he keeps trying to come at me and go, no, No, you stayed here for a reason. You have a powerful reason to still be on the planet, and you need to come into your own and allow yourself the understanding that what you tell other people all the time, that you are so much more than you think that you are. And he has continued to try to remind me that um, I just lost the thought. Oh, well, I can't, it keeps coming in and going. I'm like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to confuse me? This thought, oh, he used to tell me all the time, the most important thing, thank you. The most important thing that you can do is to remember the truth of who you are. And so
Yes.
I've been working really hard. That's my message to the world. It seems like I'm just trying, I just want to wake people up and help them to realize how incredible. Stop being so small. Stop thinking so small.
Yes.
You need to realize that you really are the spark of God, that you're a creator, and that you are always creating, even if you don't know it. And you're creating things that you don't want. So you might as well realize how powerful you are so that you can begin to be take control of that and actually create what it is that you're wanting to create. So that was the conversation that we had today. Him reminding me.
Okay.
He had to tell me so that I could tell you, apparently.
He wants you to stop for a minute, to pause, and his words are, there is no other side. It's all one side. And that's when we refer to those that are in spirit as being somewhere other than here, it's not clear in our minds yet that he is here, that they are all here with us. Yeah. And when it's that separation thing. We see ourselves as separate because we're in this human body, but we're not really. And so there is only one side. And so that's why he says, okay, just tell her that. I'm like, okay, Steve, I'll tell her that.
Thanks, Steve. It's like I said, it's like I get confused. He's given me so much but what he keeps trying to make clear to me, and once again, you just brought me back to that, is that a lot of that wisdom, right after he died, I spent so much time, you and I have talked about the bathroom floor, so much time getting to know the truth of me. And that's what he keeps trying to tell me, is it's not you. You came in there looking for me, and you came out of there knowing you. So a lot of the wisdom that comes through to us, it's really available to all of us, but it requires us to sit down wherever, whether it's the bathroom floor or wherever it is, to be in that stillness, because you need to get to know you. We're always out there looking for someone else. We want someone to give us a message. We want to hear, somebody tell me my future. Tell me who I'm going to fall in love with. Am I on my path? You get all these questions all the time.
All the time.
Sit down on the floor, be quiet. I think it was, I don't want to say easier. It certainly wasn't easier for me, but it was my full-time job. I would spend 2 or 3 hours a day. My kids called it Narnia. They're like, where's mom? She's back in Narnia again. Because I made it my full-time job to get to know, in the process of getting to where he was, I'm trying to raise my vibration to where he was. It was made clear. Paul was one of the people that woke me up to that. Paul Wyrostek. He said, your guides want you to know, and Steve wants you to know that it's okay to call on them, but you can also call on your own higher self, that you need to go find you. And so it was a truly important message. So a lot of these things that I think that I'm like, oh, well, surely that's got to be coming from him because it's so wise. He's trying to say, well, no, that's coming from you because you are so wise. And that's the reminder to every one of us that we all have that access.
Yeah.
So
yes, we do. We all have access. We have the same exact access as everyone else.
Exactly.
There's no one more special, no more powerful or connected. We're all connected. We're all one.
Connected. Right. What was it? Linda Lemieux, sweet Linda Lemieux, the other night brought that back up in her meeting, was this, what I would call universal knowledge, this river of knowledge where, what I know, and if that person can play the piano, I can play the piano. And if that person knows physics, well, of course I know physics, because we're all so connected. We just need to remember that we're connected and then tap in.
Tap in, that's the thing. And it's widely known that those who are the innovators, those who have made the big discoveries, of things that came to be in our world, they were tapped in. They would go inside. They would go into their meditation time and call on that higher power and those spirit guides, and they brought that information through. But
Mm.
any of us can do that. The
Yeah.
only thing that made them more special is that they listened and then they spoke it. You know,
They did it.
yeah,
And that's what the
they
prophets,
did
you
it.
know, that's what
Yeah,
anyone that's got that.
yeah.
Well, Jesus too. Jesus came here to show us what we're
Mm-hmm.
capable of. We can, any one of us can tap
Yeah,
into that ability, to
yeah,
that universal, you know, the healing. We think, oh, well, he was here and he was different. He was the son of God and he had abilities that we didn't have. He was the son of God and so are we. And we're all chips off
we
that.
all are.
So we
Yeah,
all have the ability to have that. That's what he came here to show us,
yeah.
is what we can do and
Mm-hmm.
more. Not just,
And more.
oh, you just sit here and watch me work. He was like, no, look what you can do. So
Yeah,
I try to remind
absolutely.
myself.
Yeah, I think it was Wayne Dyer that he brought out to us that phrase, I am that I am.
Hmm.
And he says, put a comma after that.
I am that.
I am that I am. So when we refer to I am as the name of God, you know,
Hmm.
that's when God was asked,
Hmm.
what we call you, it was I am. You know, he is. He's everything.
Hmm.
So when we take that phrase, I am that I am, and put the comma there, it's like, wow,
Yeah.
I am that.
Can you feel that shift? All of a sudden you go, oh, that's a new light on the
Yeah.
whole thing. My
Hmm.
light, actually, something happened. I don't know what happened with the electronics, but I went, ooh, can you feel that shift? And the light went on my face.
It sure
Perfect
did.
timing.
And it's like there's these rays of light from you now.
I am that I am. Try it, you guys. Everybody that's out
Yeah.
there, try it. I
I
am that.
am that.
I
I
am
am that.
that.
I am.
What do
Yeah,
you
I
want to
love.
look at? Whatever it is that you want to be and go, I am that.
Mhm. Yeah, and when you really apply that, and you know, you look at somebody that you absolutely idolize, and you think this is like the best person in the whole world. You know, they've done all these great things. They've made millions of books. You know, they've done all of this,
Mhm.
and you look at them, and you're going, I am that.
I am
I
that.
am. Wow, does that put it into perspective, Diana?
Yeah. And doesn't it also change it from us having to be envious of other people to just being like, oh,
Yeah,
well, they're doing it. They're me. I can do that too. They're
yeah,
at the same level that I'm at. If they can do it, I am
yeah.
that too.
Yeah,
So
and then let's take it a step further. Let's
mm-hmm.
take it to those that we look down on or that we judge and
I am that.
criticize. I
Mm-hmm.
am that. And wow, does it make it just so perfectly clear about, you know, I have no right to judge
That's right.
anybody because
Because
I'm judging me. I am that. I'm
it
judging
might hurt. That
myself.
might hurt me. That's what
Yeah,
Neil Donald
yeah.
Walsh. Do you ever read any of his
Oh, I love him. Yes.
Conversations with God? And he said one of the most important things in that book that I ever read was look at people and say, that's me. Everyone that you
Yeah,
pass on the streets, the
yeah,
animals, everything, just look at it
yeah.
and say, that's me. So when you see a homeless
Hmm.
person or you see a person that's a different color or a different
Yeah,
nationality or a different religion or handicapped or poor or homeless or whatever, or rich, you might even be
yeah.
judging people that have too much, what you consider too much. Instead of
Right.
looking down on them or judging them, you look at them and you say, that's me. That's
Yeah,
me. That I'm that homeless person. I'm that little child in the
yeah,
mud.
yeah.
I'm that little dog that keeps barking. I'm the baby that won't stop crying. And then something
Yeah.
changes and it's the truth. We're really only hurting.
Yeah.
We're all hurting ourselves when we're hurting other
Yeah.
people. We're so
Yeah.
connected. I love that
Hmm.
we're waking up to that too. I want to
Yes,
be here to see
absolutely.
everyone do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very transparent world right now. So we're seeing things as they are and not hidden. Nothing can be hidden right now. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if there's something that's dishonest, we're going to know it because we see it with
Right.
our spiritual eyes. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it used to be we only had our physical eyes to work with, so we thought.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's more of us that are waking up to that gift of really being able to see and know
Mm-hmm.
and hear things and let our spirit guides lead us and help us to use our guts, use our intuition.
Mm-hmm.
That's the guiding light.
Mm-hmm. And it's
Yeah.
nice that we're just listening. Be
Yeah.
still. Can you hear it? Because
Mm-hmm.
the answers are there when we get quiet.
Yeah.
I've found that to be
Yeah.
so true this past 3 or 4 months. I do believe that humanity right now, and I'm sure you probably agree with this, that we're on the fast track, that we're just
Oh
literally
yeah.
just like they're slamming us. The
Hmm.
virus and now with the racism that's going on, the virus led into
Yeah.
that because we held everybody down. Everybody felt even
Hmm.
more oppressed than they've ever felt before. You can't even go to the grocery
Right.
store. We're not going to let you go hug your
Yeah.
family. We're not going to let you have a funeral service. It was
Right.
so limiting and it just held everybody down. Take kids out of school, trap them in the house with their parents for 2 months. They're going to be ready,
Yeah.
ripe to come out, and yet they have come out and they've made they've created a stronger movement than we've ever had before. And through doing that, we're seeing changes, like things that we've been needing to
Hmm.
change for so long, and now it's like just
Yeah.
going and just leaps and bounds. And even though I'm afraid of the next wave, the next thing that's going to happen, there's a little fear there. I also trust because I believe that there's a plan,
Yeah.
a huge plan in every one of these things
Hmm.
that's happening. And when we sit back and we watch, you can see it. It's obvious, at
Yeah.
least for those of us that are paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what, we all knew, those of us that were aware of the energy and aware of the things that were coming. We all saw everything that was going to happen after that lockdown
Mm-hmm.
and what's taking place. I mean, we might not have seen like the murders, we might not have seen the details,
Right.
but we knew. And I kept saying, it's not going to be the same world we go
Right.
back into after
Mm-hmm.
that lockdown time.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That's all of this transparency is coming up now because it has to be healed,
Mm-hmm.
and it couldn't. We couldn't go back to that same old,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what was trying to happen. But we're like, oh no, we see you. We see what you did, and
Don't get
then let's
away with
let's
it.
take care of it. Let's take care of it. Let's do something now
Mm-hmm.
about it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying I'm just enjoying watching it unfold because I feel like
Yeah.
we're just scraping the surface. We're just
Mhm.
barely starting to kink away at these things that
Yeah.
have been going on for so long. These atrocities, these
Mhm.
things that where we need to stop and say, I'm sorry. I know it wasn't me in this physical form that had slaves, but my ancestors more than likely were involved in
Mhm.
slave trading. My
Yeah.
in different ways. It doesn't matter if I actually did it or not. Our ancestors were all responsible for back generations and
Mhm.
generations. So let's take
Yeah.
responsibility and let's change it. Let's make it different. Because until we stand up and we go to these people that are still looking at people with a darker skin tone as being animals, not even being human
Mhm.
beings, until we stand up
Right.
and say, no, you're wrong. You're just wrong.
Mhm.
And we don't have to fight them on it, but it's our responsibility to start opening that conversation to show them
Yes.
because they can't see it. And these black Americans, they can't do it either. They
No.
can because people are
No.
looking at them like they're less than human. So no matter
Right.
what they do, they're always going to be they
Mhm.
can't get their voices heard. And so now
Yeah.
it's our responsibility. I think that's the biggest thing to remember at this time in this battle that we're in. It's not just their fight. It's
It's
all of
all of us.
our.
Yeah, it really is all of us. And you're so right, looking inside and saying, what is my part?
Mm-hmm.
What is my part? Where are those things inside of me that maybe I've had a thought and it added to the problem,
Right.
and definitely wasn't a part of the solution.
Mm-hmm.
But where is that inside of me? And we have to have that conversation with ourselves.
Right.
That has to be something that we really dig deep and say, what's in there?
Mm-hmm.
We haven't looked. We haven't even looked
There,
at what's in
I
there.
guarantee you there's
Yeah.
some in there,
Yeah.
even if you tell
Hmm.
people that you're not
Yeah.
racist or that you had nothing to do with this, it's buried inside of you someplace. There's
Yeah.
always going to be
Yeah.
something. It's the way we're wired. We see
Yeah.
differences in each other
Yeah.
and that's fear based. We're
Yeah.
afraid that person might take something from us. We're afraid that they might rub off on us, that it might be different, that
Hmm.
somehow we're going to lose something. All of this comes out of fear. And so when do we
Yeah.
stop the fear? When we start
When
looking
do
at
it?
love.
Yeah.
We got to go
Yeah.
back to love.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And it's also that lack mentality.
Mm-hmm.
If you have something, then I don't.
Right.
There's not enough for me. There's not enough pie to go around. But there's more
Yep.
than enough pie.
Yeah. The only reason why we don't have enough
Yeah.
pie is because we're all hoarding it because we're afraid that there's not enough. When we stop
Hmm.
doing that and just know that
Yeah.
there's enough, then there is enough because
Yeah.
it's all this collective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. We're in an abundant universe, and we have more resources than we can use. So, well, as long as we keep going the way we're going, we may not have those very long.
Hmm.
But it is an abundant world, and we have the ability to grow food to feed ourselves. And why do we go into that lack mentality? Why do we start thinking me against you? And it's that been that type of society for way too long. It's me against you, and it should be us working together
Hmm.
and no separation, no me or you, just us.
Don't you think it goes all the way back to the beginning, the early people that were
Oh,
struggling for survival all the time, that
yes.
they had to sleep with one eye open. They never
Hmm.
knew when a saber-toothed tiger was going to, that's
Yeah.
where ego, that's where
Yeah.
ego really kicked it in. It's like, oh, I gotta,
Yeah.
that's why the ego is so filled with fear and protective mode, because it's like, I gotta keep you alive all the time, So really all of this
Yeah.
comes from that ego of,
Yeah.
survival mode, but we no longer
Hmm.
have to live in survival mode. There
Yeah.
really is enough to go around. We really are okay. And that's the conversation at some point. This racism stuff, this is only a symptom of a disease, and the disease goes
Yes.
all the way back to the beginning of humanity,
Hmm.
where we learn to be afraid.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And the competition.
Right.
It
Right.
goes all the way back to the very first of mankind,
Mhm.
brothers fighting against each other,
Right.
um, villages fighting against each other. We've seen it from the very beginning. But
Mhm.
now I think we're at a place where we can really overcome that competition, that lack mentality, all of that. We have the tools
Mhm.
because we've evolved to the point where we know who we are now. I mean, 20, 25 years ago, there weren't these open discussions about being a spiritual person.
Mhm.
We
Yeah,
were
you
we
get
were a
I get
human, right? We were a
it was
human.
it wasn't that long ago we would have been put to death for what we're sitting here doing right now. Like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about? What kind of black magic is this? I'm gonna, burn
yeah,
you at the stake. So,
yeah. Burned at the stake, and way too many of them, that happened to.
mhm.
But
Healers. That's all they were. They were healers. They came in
yeah,
so often. They just came in and they tried to do, what we're doing right now. They wanted to make changes. They just
hmm,
cared. I'm sure they were sensitive, empathic
yeah,
people. There may have
yeah,
been a few that were into some darkness, but mostly it was people that were capable of going into nature, finding those remedies that would
hmm,
heal. Maybe they even
yeah,
developed the ability to heal with touch. They had their early
hmm,
Reiki going. I don't know what it was,
yeah,
but they had some abilities. That's all it was. And so now at least we have come into a place. Now that may not carry through the entire world, because I know there are still places where there's a whole lot of oppression, where it can
hmm,
be dangerous to actually be who you
yeah,
really, especially females. We still
right.
have that thing in some countries where being a female, you're still so oppressed and can't
Oh yeah,
stand up for yourself. So we're not there yet. We've got a lot of work to do, but
right.
but it's promising.
Hmm.
It's nice to
Yeah,
be alive and see it moving in the right
yeah.
direction finally.
Yeah, and there are those that are fighting that battle as well.
Hmm.
One of my mentors is Lisa Nichols, and she has gone to those places where women are just treated like dogs, and they're a thing, they're a possession
Right.
instead of a being. And she's gone in to try to make a difference. So there are people that are leading this whole I hate to call it a fight because I don't like that word,
Right.
but they're leading that action and
Movement.
that forward movement. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's
And we
just
need
it
so
makes me.
many more.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We do. We need, and I think maybe this. I don't know how you feel, but I feel like maybe this thing that's going on right now is waking people up, and it's all.
Hmm.
I thought, okay, well, this is just the United States thing. It happened here. It's not. It's
Yeah.
it's going.
It's
It's
not.
traveled. It's like a river. It's
Yeah.
going all over the globe. Everyone is
Hmm.
suddenly waking up and they're saying,
Yeah.
wait a minute, something's going on and we got to make a change. Some
Yeah.
countries have been doing this for a while now. I remember when the Prime Minister of Australia stood up and said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the slavery. I'm sorry for,
Mm.
Aborigines, for the horrible
Yeah.
atrocities that were done to the people that were originally here, which is also here.
Right.
Native Americans. It started in this country way back with the very first people that were here, and we come over
Yeah.
and start taking, taking,
Yeah.
taking, taking. So we've got a
Hmm.
lot of forgiveness to ask for. That's my sense, is that
Yeah.
truly there's a lot of we need to stop just bearing it. Just like, I love how spirit works. We have we have things going on inside of us, all this growth going on inside of us, and we're going through these cycles of this. Oh, I've got to purge that. It's got to come up. I got to feel it. I got to heal it. And then you look at the bigger picture and humanity in general and the earth, all of these different, they're
Yeah.
going through the same kind of cycles. So it's
Yeah.
the same thing. We've been burying these things. Yes, they were horrible
Mm-hmm.
things. Maybe we're not doing those things anymore, but they're still in there. It's still
Mm-hmm.
in our collective consciousness. And so
Yes.
we can't just cover it up and expect it to go away and then move into 5D or above, because that
Right.
stuff is still with us. So we
Mm-hmm.
literally, as a collective consciousness now, are trying to purge these atrocities and say and ask for forgiveness and clear that energy so that we can move forward. It's the bigger picture.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Diana. I totally agree. And it's like there has to be something that happens to wake us up. This
Mm-hmm.
was a catalyst that happened
Yeah.
just recently, and it did shine a light on a lot of stuff that has been hidden for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew,
Yeah.
how could we not know
It's been
that there
happening
was
for a
all
long
of this?
time.
It's been happening for so long, and it's time to really clear that and
Mm-hmm.
to really start being proactive and start making the changes in the laws. And I just was on a talk show earlier, and it's like we say I want change, and I've said that so many times, over the last few years. We want change, but it's like, what is that change?
Yeah.
Let's define that, because
Define it. That's what I was
it
going to say.
it may be different, for me than it is for you,
Right.
but because change is a vague word. So I likened it to, if I go out, if I say I want a dog, okay, that
It's a
that could
dog.
mean anything. That could mean anything. I might have a Chihuahua. I might have a Great Dane. It's a dog.
Exactly.
So change, when we say that, really hold the solid thought. What do you want? What do you want? What is it that you desire to see happen in the world? How do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So asking ourselves that first, so we get it clear,
Right.
and then we can go forward with, oh yeah, that's what I would like to see.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see less of this, more of that,
Mm-hmm.
and just create it, because we're not going to be able to create unless we have a clear idea of what we're trying to create.
Start writing. That's what I tell people. Get
Mm-hmm.
out
Yeah.
your crayons and your coloring books if you have to, or your
Yeah.
drawing pad or your paints or your
Mm-hmm.
journal or whatever it is, and don't just
Yeah.
keep it all up here. Like you think you know
Right.
what you want, but it gets all jumbled up in here and there's so much going on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's so much. Our guides, whoever you want to call, they're like, would you please show us exactly what you want? I remember Steve taught me that
Yeah.
lesson in life. He was like, all right, I'm a guy, and I just want to tell you that if you want something and you really want that one thing, you're just going to need to flat out tell me because I won't figure it out by myself. You need to tell
I
me.
know.
And I feel like that's
Yeah.
a really important lesson coming back now. It's like, could you create exactly what it is? So as a collective consciousness, as each one of us is saying, yeah, I really want to be able, I want every child to have a roof over their head. I want every child to have food
Yeah.
on the table. I want every
Mm-hmm.
child to feel safe when they walk out of their home, when
Yeah.
I want every child to feel love. And just keep on building on it and create a picture,
Mm-hmm.
paint it, just
Yeah.
start really, really creating, because the more we spend time in that creative space, the more we're putting the energy out. We got to remember how powerful we
Yeah.
are. So don't
Yeah.
create from that lack and from that fear. Create
Yeah.
from that what I call the inner child space, that space where you're just a dreamer, daydream, and create from that
Yeah.
space of, oh, I want to see this world where everything is green, where the water flows nice and clear, where there's, just keep playing
Yes.
with it.
Keep
It's so
playing with it. Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Absolutely. And that's how change will happen.
mm-hmm,
Once we have that thought of what it is that I want to see out there
right,
in the world, but that out there is in here.
right,
So bringing it even more personal, what's the change I want to see in me?
mm-hmm,
How do I want to see inside of myself
right,
shifted and things moved out, like, any thoughts of separation?
mm-hmm,
So I want to create inside of me that connection to the oneness.
Hmm.
And our spirit guides are huge in helping us with this. Our angels will help with this. All we have to do is ask,
We forget to ask.
right? We forget to ask.
We're like a bunch of toddlers running around. We want to put on our
Yeah,
own pants. We're putting them on backwards. We're putting our underwear on our head. We're just all messed up. We've been messing it
right.
up for a really long time. And
Yeah.
they're like, you ever followed a 2-year-old around and you got your hands out, or a 1.5-year-old, they've just
Mhm.
learned to walk. And we're just like, please let me help you with that. And they're just like, nah, like, no, I got it myself.
Mine.
Us. Yes, we're like a bunch of little, because we've forgotten that they're always there,
Yeah.
but they can't help us unless we ask. And you brought that back to me really, really distinctly, like really well, because after he died, I hadn't slept. Like I just didn't sleep at
Yeah.
all. I when he was sick, I stopped sleeping and I stopped eating. And so I was really sick. By the time he died, blah, blah, blooper time. By the time he passed, he stopped me in that because he can't stand the word death.
Oh,
Sorry,
me either.
sorry.
Yeah.
By the time he transitioned, walked into the next room, I was really, really a mess. I was in so much pain. I had taken on so
Hmm.
much of his pain. I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. And so I remember getting onto Facebook one night and I was like, I haven't slept in so long. I would wake up with panic attacks all night long and I couldn't sleep. And you just said, have you asked your angels to help you sleep? And I'm like, can I do that? Like, are they really listening to me? Would they really help me with something like sleeping? And so I was like,
Yeah.
well, it really can't hurt. Let me try it. And it worked. That was the first night in months. I went to sleep and I slept straight through like a baby. And I woke up the next day going, oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you so much for if you didn't come
Yeah.
into my life for anything else, for that one thing, it was worth it because that was like the
Yeah.
turning point for me. Because not only did I start sleeping at night, I started realizing that I could call on these angels, that they were there for
Hmm.
me. And that changed
Yeah.
everything. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
now I really got it going on. So thank you for that. I just want to give you that. I really
Oh,
appreciate
yeah.
it. It was life changing.
Yeah. Like I said, it was all divinely orchestrated. Steve knew what he was doing.
He does, still does. Sometimes it's irritating.
Yeah.
No, it's not irritating. Sorry,
Yeah.
honey. It's not irritating. He's so good. He's so good. He really is.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
give him credit for his sweetness and the fact that he's worked
Yeah.
so hard. It's not just me. There was a point when I realized that he's not just my Steve anymore. He comes into the room. I've got friends that have had struggles and they're like, Steve came to me. And I'm like, yeah, of course he did. Because that's
Hmm.
the kind of person that he was
Yeah.
in life. He was always trying to fix something for somebody. He couldn't just let it
Right.
go. And he would keep after it. If they would ask him to do something, he would never give up on it. I remember one time I had an HP laptop and it died on me. And I'm like, what in the world is wrong with this thing? And
Yeah.
he got on, he started looking up how to fix it, got on YouTube or whatever. And then he took the whole thing was spread out all over his desk and he took the motherboard out and he wrapped it up in aluminum foil and towels and he put it in the oven. He did. He did. And then
What?
and then after he put it in the oven, he brought it back and all those pieces were all over his desk. And he sat there like all night putting this computer all back together. In the morning I slept. In the morning I wake up, I go over to my laptop and I've got a working computer again. And I'm like, ugh. That's the kind of
Wow.
person he was. So
Hmm.
imagine when he's not held down by a physical body anymore.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
really is the Batman now. Nothing
Yeah.
stops him.
Yeah. So Steve, my computer doesn't work real well.
Look at him. He whispers in my ear. He's like, "All right, this is what you." Sometimes I forget, and I'm like, I just can't do this, and I get so frustrated, and I walk away, and then it's like he whispers in my ear, and it's like, oh, thanks. Jeez, why didn't I think of that? Because he fixed
Yeah.
everything for me. I didn't have to fix anything. When he came
Hmm.
along, he just started fixing it. If if we didn't tell him, if one of the kids had something broken and they wouldn't tell him, it would frustrate him to no end. He's like, why have they been dealing with that for a month? Why didn't they tell me? I would have
Yeah.
fixed it. And he's still like
Right.
that. So we'll send a little Steve energy over there to that computer. See, see if he can help you out with
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's kind of dying of old age.
that. That happens, unfortunately.
I had this theory many years ago that computers have a lifespan,
They do.
and it's kind of built into when your warranty expires. The
Mhm.
warranty expires, and the next day it's like, oh my God, it's not
Yeah.
working.
It's like, guess what, sister? Cars are like that too. I think anything is like that. It just seems to know when the
Yeah.
warranty's up, and then it's all
Yeah.
in. It's fun time.
Yeah, I
But
know.
let's not create that energy tonight. We're gonna,
Nope, it's working at the moment. I'm
everything's
happy with
working
it. I
great.
love you. And that's the other thing, we can put energy into our things like
Mhm.
computers, cars,
Right.
and the more we give them that positive, it's like, I love you. Thank you for getting me from point A to point B and not breaking down. And, I had this part on my car. It's called, it's called a valance. I found that out today. It's the part that keeps the engine from getting all the junk up off the ground, hitting up in it.
Hmm.
But it kept falling down. And so a friend of mine was kind of just temporary fixing it. He couldn't get up under it good to fix it. So I kept thanking my car. Thank you for not falling down on the ground and dragging my whole front end of my car off. So finally today I got it fixed and really good fixed. But I went into the shop and the guys looked at it. He goes, "Oh, are you the one with?" And I thought, "Are you the one with the balance problem?" And I'm looking at him. And I'm going, I think my balance is okay.
As far as I know.
But it's called a balance that protects the
Balance.
engine, the balance. But it was so funny. It was such a funny moment. And I love that because it lifts your vibration. And so when I go back out to my car after it was fixed, I'm going, yeah, our balance is good now, isn't it?
Car's feeling so much better now. It says thank you for fixing it. That's
Yes.
cute. So now you got a name for the part if it ever goes bad again. At least you know what it is.
I have a name for it. And I had asked my friend that does the temporary repair on it. I said, what is that called? So when I call a mechanic, I'll be able to talk,
Hmm.
intelligently to him. And he goes, "Oh, it's the engine splash guard." And I'm like, okay.
That's not what it is,
It's
though.
not that.
Nope, you got it wrong. It's the valance. Now we all know.
Now we
We
all
all,
know. Yeah. Yeah. And the mechanic was so funny. He goes, "Well, this is not as bad as the Hondas are." He goes, I've jerked some of those things out of there.
I know
Like, I'm not.
somebody that had a Honda, or that had a Honda that had that problem. It fell off while he was driving down the road. He heard this scraping
Yeah.
noise, and it was the exact same problem. So
Yeah.
apparently he's right.
Yeah.
It's been proven. That's funny. I still can't find us. I keep looking because I want to check comments.
Oh, we're under your timeline. We're under you.
Did I put it under me?
Yeah, you did.
Well, no wonder we can't find it. I've been looking under Enlightened Living. I really did click Enlightened Living. I clicked Enlightened Living. I did.
I looked there too, and it wasn't there.
Maybe I did it
Like,
backwards. Do we save it to Enlightened Living at least?
yeah.
That's interesting that we found that out now. I've been looking for it for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, well, Wendy had shared it, so I clicked on
She's so
there, and
good.
it was you that went live under
I
Diane.
went live. Well, sorry
Yeah.
guys, we're gonna have it here today. I told you Spirit was gonna do whatever it wanted to do. So because
Absolutely.
I really did click it.
Yeah.
I thought I did. But it's got two options. You can click it to go to a certain place. I know what I did. It can go to a certain place and you are posting as a certain thing. And I probably did it backwards.
Right.
Probably posting as Enlightened Living on my page. So all right,
Yeah.
well it's out there. At
It's
least I don't
okay.
have to share it that way.
We figured it out. It's all good.
It's all good. We're here somewhere. Somebody will find us.
Oh, yeah, they did. We've had like 12, 13 people on with us.
That'll do then.
Yeah.
I still can't find me, but that's okay because I'm just challenged today, which is my typical status anyway. My head's in the clouds as usual.
Well, you're getting the little laughing smiley faces.
Are they laughing at me? I'm sorry, you guys, if I confused you. I love you.
Yes, lots of love.
All my friends. So anyway, what is regroup? Stop looking at the phone. It's distracting. Yeah. I can't find me. It doesn't matter. They're here somewhere. We're just gonna put this down, hide it someplace else.
Okay.
It's gone. It's gone. So what we've got this new project. I feel like we need to bring it up every day, every chance that we get to. Sharon will be here with me. What did we decide? I actually think we're going to bring her in next week.
Saturday.
Right. We just talked about she's going to be on Saturday.
Yeah, with you and
Bring my
Joanne.
comfy
Yeah.
couch, and then I'm gonna have her. I've got Erin coming back, my animal communicator, on
Oh,
Thursday next
yay.
week. So I'm gonna have Sharon come on that day too, and we'll do a comfy couch on Thursday. So we're gonna get this out because it's all about raising awareness and bringing out a conversation about what we can do to help with this racial issue that's going on right now. So I wanted to kind of bring that back up. Did have you had Sharon on your show 2 days
Mm-hmm.
ago?
Yes, she was on Tuesday, and she's going to doing the first comfy couch tomorrow at
Mhm.
3 o'clock. Pretty sure that's right. um, yeah, I think it's 3 o'clock tomorrow. We'll
Mhm.
do the first one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really interested. Now Saturday, we've got Caleb again, and the whole idea is to try to bring Caleb's young people. Hopefully, we can get
Yeah.
some of these young people in there to talk about
Oh,
these
yeah.
issues. I think that's important.
It is so important, really. I mean, I was on a panel, was it Tuesday, I think? And there was an 18-year-old uh, kid. He's a kid, 18. He was on there from Brazil, and I am just, my mouth is open listening to this kid talk.
Mhm.
So wise beyond his years, and really some great stuff, profound stuff that he was coming out with about, the way things are today. And he contacted me after. He's going to interview me on his radio. 18 years old. He has a radio talk show.
Wow.
I'm like, yeah, these are the kids we have right now
Mhm.
they're not sitting on their hands and saying, oh well, the world's a mess. They're
This is
actually
our
saying, what can I do?
mhm. This is our ADHD bunch of kids. These are the kids that came into the
Yeah,
world, and we all thought that we needed to medicate them and settle them down and make them sit behind a desk and be still. In
yeah.
honesty, they came in here all wired up, ready to come into
Mm-hmm.
action. And Caleb really made that clear to me last week when I spoke to him. It's, that we're
Yeah.
here and we're older and we have a very important job to do in all of this. And a lot
Mm-hmm.
of us, the
Yeah,
job is to be here to support the young people as they're going
yeah.
out, to be that light worker position, to send out the energy, to care for them, to guide them. Their
Mm-hmm.
job is to go into action. They're going right out into the front
Yeah.
lines. And so
Oh yes.
he made that very clear to me. So that's why it's so important to pull these young people in to this
Yeah.
comfy couch, to have a platform where they can sit and really talk.
Absolutely. Any of us to be able to sit there, but especially the young people, but for all of us that just need to express. And
Mhm.
it's a very safe place. And that's what we wanted to put out to people. You're not recorded, you're not live on the air for a million people to hear you. You're just sitting there having one of these candid conversations
Mhm.
and not being judged for what you say or feel, because we all have things inside of us.
Right.
And many times we won't say it because we're afraid of being criticized. We're afraid somebody's going to either judge us or they're going to say what we said out somewhere else. But this is a very safe place, and it's what happens in there stays in there, just like Vegas.
Mhm.
Whatever is said, that's confidential, and that's where it is. So I'm encouraging people to come to any and all of these.
Mhm.
Come tomorrow, get the feel for what it is. Go to Diana's. I think Mira Rubin's going to have some. Deb Goldberg. So these are all opportunities for us to really do that exploration inside
And
and
be
do
a listener.
I call it the excavation. Go in and do the
Excavation.
exploration and then do the excavation.
Mhm. I think it's important too to make sure that we understand that we're not just showing up so we can be heard. We're showing up so that we can sit and listen, because
Listen.
there will be
Yeah.
some young people at some of these, and we
Hmm.
need to hear them. We need to know.
Yes.
I've been paying a lot of attention. There's been some great videos coming out, and it's really changed my
Yeah.
viewpoint. Because my daughter, she lives in Chicago, and she has seen this firsthand. And she's spoken to
Yeah.
me all the times about, many, many times about police brutality and about
Hmm.
how these black men can't walk down the streets of Chicago without being afraid, not only of being hurt just by criminals, but by being hurt by the policemen,
By the police.
because they're in
Yeah.
the wrong place at the wrong time, just because their skin
Yeah.
color, they are
Hmm.
the focus, and they end up
Hmm.
getting hurt because
Yeah.
they're there, just because they look
Yeah.
different. I don't want my children to be afraid, and I don't want any any mother to be afraid of her child walking
Yeah.
down the streets just because they look different, their skin tone is different. They're
Right.
afraid that they're going to be a target from
Mm-hmm.
people that should know better. Now, these
Yes.
people, they have a badge. They should know better
Yeah.
than to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And yet it's happening, and it's happening more than
Mm-hmm.
I was aware of, because I've lived in a world where when I call in a policeman, they come and they help me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get
Yeah.
stopped. My car doesn't get stopped. I'm not a target. My kids,
Right.
they're not targets in that way. And so I haven't
Mm-hmm.
had to deal with that the way that these people have. And so it's been really
Mm-hmm.
eye-opening to listen to these stories, to really hear them. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm loving about this comfy couch is I just want to come into I'm going to be there for as many as I can get to, because I
Mm-hmm.
just want to be there to listen. I want to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, if you want the link, I can send it to you for tomorrow
Yeah,
so that you
send
can
it. I
be
don't
there
know
with
what's
us.
going on yet tomorrow at 3 o'clock, but send it. Maybe I think
Yeah.
I can get there. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, we want to, well, she would love to limit it to like 15 so
Right.
that we
Of
can have
course.
a conversation. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I wonder if some of us can just be sitting in the sidelines, just hearing, and not necessarily be
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
in
Absolutely.
because that's how Geraldine and I are going to work it. We're going to be four of us are working so that one of us can be making sure that the people that want to get into the room can get into the room, but not necessarily in the process of the whole talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a team action. Truly, I believe that we all need to work together to make sure that as many of these voices that need to be heard are given the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to speak. So
Yeah.
I'm just
Absolutely.
I'm loving that I can be a part of it. It feels really good to
Me too.
do this.
Yeah, me too.
Mhm. So tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about what you're doing and how people can find you,
Ah.
how you can help them, because I know you've got many ways that you help people. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
give you a little time for that.
Thank you. They can find me easiest at angelspeakers.com. There's a contact form on there, and that goes right to an email to me, so I get back to you right away. You can find me on social media. On Facebook, it's Teri Angel. On Instagram and Twitter, I'm Gratitude Girl. And I do life coaching, I do energy healing. I have a beautiful modality that I work with that the angels gave to me called Time Heals, and it works with the chakra energy, opening up and balancing. I'm also an angelic Reiki practitioner, so I love that modality and helping people with that. And just love to just sit and talk to people, and you can have 15-minute session and just see if we jive, see if I can help you, if you feel comfortable. And I do that a lot. I spend a
Mm.
lot of time just helping people work out issues and work out what's going on in their lives. And I'm online a lot, so you can go to my shows and see what I'm all about. If you're just wondering if you would fit with me working with you, just listen to some of the shows. I do Gratitude Happy Hour every Tuesday, and we work on emotions. We work on how dealing with emotions after a trauma. And
Mhm.
it sounds familiar.
Yes, it does. I think
Yeah,
I've called on you before.
yeah.
Mm.
So there's all kinds of ways that we can work together.
Mm.
And however I can help somebody, if I can mentor you, if I can share some insight with you, I'm more than happy to do that. I'll take the time because it's important to me to do so.
Mhm. Yeah, it's so important that we're all here for each other. That's really what it's all about
Yeah.
at this time is we're all being called into action and to reach out and to
Yes.
say, you know what, I'm just here.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
if the most that I can do for you is to sit and be that sounding board and just let you talk
Yeah.
it out, because
Hmm.
I do believe that when I do the mentoring or when I do, any kind of sessions, the first half hour, I'm just listening. I'm not
Oh
even
yeah.
going to try. I'm not here to fix anyone. But I do
Right.
believe that when we speak
Yeah.
things out loud, we find our own answers often. So a lot
Yeah.
of it is just
Yeah.
they just need to be heard for a little while. And then all of a sudden
Yeah.
they're like, I'll be listening and I'll be like, there it is. And then when they're done talking, I'm like, have you thought about, or would you go back and say that one thing again? And they do, and they go,
Yeah.
oh, and it's like, so,
Uh-huh.
so
Light
it's an
bulb.
important job. I've needed
Yeah.
it myself.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
been in the receiving seat of that kind of energy or that kind of work. And so I try to give that to other people. It's just, let me listen to you a little bit. And I've gotten that from you, a couple of times. You've really helped me. And your angel messages, what do you call that? When you have
the angel circles.
Angel circles.
And we just sit around and whatever comes through, the angels always give everybody a message. And usually it's exactly what's needed in your life at that moment to guide. It's just guidance. That's all it is angel guidance. And I just wanted to share also, I love what you brought out. And yes, the listening is so important. We all have all the answers inside of us. We all heal ourselves. There's no such thing as somebody that's going to heal you. That we can channel energy, Reiki energy, time heals, theta, whatever it is. We can channel that energy to you. The healing happens inside of you.
You have to
and
let it.
Yeah, exactly.
And to whatever extent you're willing to accept. So, that's how spirit works. It's like, how much do you want? I've always been like, bring it. Whatever you want to, whatever. Like, I'm here, whatever it is. But really, if you're like, I don't want any third eye action. I don't want to, I don't want to deal with this, or whatever it is, they're not going to force you. You can sit in any kind of mud puddle you want to sit in. You can stay. If sometimes disease has a reason, has a purpose. We're learning from all of these. All of it is pure experience. That's how they look at it. They don't judge it and go, well, surely you don't want to go through that again. They're just like, well, okay, that's what you want. It's your life. You get to experience it any way that you choose. And if you want to stay in that position, if you want to have that pain or that discomfort or that horrible relationship, they're not going, and I just judged by saying horrible, because they wouldn't say that. They would be just like, if that's what you want to experience, then that's your right. It's your experience. If you choose to raise yourself above that and you want to go someplace in a different direction and you want to call us, and okay, well, we're going to help you out to whatever extent you're willing to accept. So it's beautiful and it's catered to each one of us. And it's so perfect. I love to watch how it works. This puzzle piece.
I do too.
I do too.
Yeah. There's been so many times in my life where I've gone around and around in circles, and it's like, okay, I thought I made a different choice, but obviously I'm right back at the same place again. And, then when we stop and we say, all right, this isn't working. Can I have some help here? So I call in the angels, and they're like, okay, now you're ready to listen.
Before, we were just going to let you continue because your soul wants to get that.
Oh, yeah.
Your soul's going to figure out how to get that through to you. It doesn't matter if it takes 1,000 lessons. They're going to keep bringing you the same thing in a different person or in a different situation, but it'll be the same lesson. They're like, and you can see them, their eyes are rolling. They're like, okay, let's do this again.
I know. I keep saying my guardian angels are like this. Like, what is she doing now?
And it's always like the funny thing is, here's the flip side, is I open myself up to it. I'm like, okay, whatever it is that I need to do. And as soon as you do that, you should be going, oh gosh, what did I just do? You better prepare yourself. You're going to get slammed with something. And you're going to get, well, why did you do that? Because you asked for it? Because you wanted to learn that lesson? You told us you did that. That was your idea, not ours. We just gave you what you asked for. My guides think I'm hilarious. They laugh at me all the time.
Yes. I know. They're always laughing, and I hear that laughter. It's just so funny to work with them. I love it, every moment of it. I was chanting last night. We do chanting. I still have another show after this one. We're doing chanting for change, Karen Palmer and myself. And we were chanting last night, and I think it was the second chant. We do Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. And we were going at a good clip, and all of a sudden it was like this laughter just started coming up. And I'm like, all right, Angel, stop it.
I can't do this if I'm laughing.
I'm trying to chant here.
Have fun, sister. You're getting too serious again. We want to have fun. It's really
they're like that. They make me laugh all the time. All the time.
Life is supposed to be fun. We're supposed to.
It is.
We just
supposed to have fun. Yeah.
It's a playground.
Yep, it is. It is. Right. I love your playground.
Come join me tomorrow morning.
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow morning at 9:30, we'll be back at the playground. I'm wondering how many times I'm going to keep doing this every day. Because when the shutdown started, I was like, yeah, I'll do it every day. And every now and then I'm like, I have done this every day for 3 months. I've been on the show every single day.
Yeah.
And yet I
Yeah.
don't mind it. It's only an hour and it's fun. As long as people keep coming back, I'll just keep doing it. We'll just continue
Yeah.
to have fun. So
Yeah. Same thing
Terry,
here. Yeah.
we have gone for a whole hour. It's 8 o'clock already.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. We just started.
I know, but we can sit and talk all day. We're both big talkers anyway, so it's easy
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah. Well, I
So I
love
want to
talking to
thank you.
you, Diana. Yeah, you're wonderful to just sit and chat with and bring out the deep stuff.
Mhm.
It's like we don't have to talk about the weather.
That's right. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that shallow stuff. We can do that with the guy down the street. We
Hmm.
can get into those deeper
Yeah.
conversations, and it's not always
Yes.
easy to find that in our lives. Sometimes all we've got is
Right.
people that are at that very shallow space.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
appreciate you very, very much.
I
I'm so
appreciate
grateful to you
you.
for coming and sharing this time with me. And I'm going to
Thank
let you
you.
get on with your night because I know you've got another show and you got to go take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You got to be tired. So I'm going to let you head out.
Yes.
But thank you again so much. And I hope that you all enjoy the show. Thank you. I didn't get to see who was here, but I appreciate you for finding us wherever we
Same.
were and for coming and sharing this hour with us. And please share it out. We'll figure out where it's going. We'll take care of it later.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Terry.
Thank you. Thank you, Diana. This has been a real honor to be here with you. And to all of you out there, I love you.
So much love. Thank you. We'll
Yeah.
see you very, very soon.
Bye,
Night.
everybody.